Alright. I'm hoping this is going. I'm gonna have to check it out on my phone. I just went ahead and plugged in the Ethernet cable because this is being a big pain in the booty. Big pain in the booty. Alright, I got 73% on my phone. How's it going? I'm just gonna pull up my stream real quick, make sure it's still like trucking. Oh no. Oh wait, no, that's not me. That's Spec. That's okay. Sorry for the technical delay, y'all. I just gotta check in with my stuff, make sure it's going. Oh no. Oh wait. Okay. It looks like we're good. It looks like we're good. It looks like we're good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pause the video on my phone, but I'm gonna keep the chat open on my phone. I had to plug my Ethernet cable into my laptop to make this work. I don't know what's going on with the internet lately, but I guess I need another Ethernet cable because both machines need it, which is a bummer, but whatever. Alright, so I got this open, and now we're gonna play some tunes, right? This is actually what I was going to start playing at the beginning of the stream, but I got a bunch of ideas about, like, Kiss and stuff. Alright, if this is too loud, I'll turn it down, but should be alright. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're coming back. We're coming back. Oh, piss. Pull it up on your phone. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm sorry. Alright, I'm going to get the music on my phone. And then... But how am I going to hear... how am I going to see the chat? That's going to be... I got to figure this out in real time. I'm so sorry. I guess I'm going to have to pull you up over here. I got a lot going on. Got a lot going on. I'm working on a lot of stuff. I'm running RPGs. I'm working on a lot of stuff. Yeah, boy. Alright. I had like 90 notifications again. That was fucking wild. But also amazing. It's really cool hanging out with everybody, and it's really cool like getting all the feedback and stuff. Alright, so I'm gonna pull this out and go back over to Firefox, right? Boom. The Fox. This thing looks like it's struggling. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeezus in the house. What's up, bro? Welcome in, Yeez. Got the Yeezy fever. What's up? What's up, my dude? Alright, so now I got the chat on the screen, like literally on the screen. Oh, you've already met Kratos? That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, Yeezus is like always on Seg stuff, but like he's been popping in on other people's stuff lately. I don't know if he found everybody on his own or if like he's just like in my web of people, but like welcome in, Yeezus. Welcome back. It's always good to see you, my bro. Okay, so I was placing Integral. That's where we were before like the signal went out. So how do I feel about Integral? Like this one's really hard for me. It's a toss-up. Like I would say it edges out the original release, or it's right behind Quiet bending over in front of me. It's one of the two. But you know what? I'm gonna make a split decision. I'm gonna say that Metal Gear Solid Integral is not only solid, but it's just better than the original release. I would say that. Because it just adds in all the extra stuff, you know, the extra modes. You really need that. Now, Twin Snakes. Where do I sit with Twin Snakes? Where's that chat at? Quiet bending over is classified. Yeah, that's funny. The Patriots is trying to censor the tier. They are. The fucking Patriots. They're always coming after me. Fucking cops. Fuck the police. I would say I'm just kidding, but I'm not. Fuck the police. Alright, welcome to my live stream. This is who I am. So we got the Twin Snakes up next. Now this one is going to be kind of a divider for people, I think, because like a lot of people would argue because they added like the updated graphics, the cool like over the top cutscenes, the smoother gameplay that uses the engine from Metal Gear Solid 2. A lot of people would argue that this game is better than the original release. And I get where you're coming from. This game is unique to itself, is what I would say. Because it uses the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine, it has terrible balancing issues. It makes certain boss fights that were designed for Metal Gear Solid in its state. It makes certain boss fights, like the Revolver Ocelot boss fight in the beginning, a complete joke. On the other hand, it's basically the same game with updated graphics. Now, why do I like this so much less than Metal Gear Solid? It's because they got the cast back, mostly. They got most of the cast back to reprise the roles, but I think the second time around, the performance was a little flaccid, comparatively. It wasn't, like, if you want to consider, like, the performance in Metal Gear Solid to be solid, as far as voice acting goes, that shit was erect. And Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, that shit was flaccid. I'm being honest with you, dude. That shit was flaccid. And also, the sound design was a little weak. The tracks that they replaced, like, they're just... If you're not getting this already, like, music's a big deal. It's part of the game crunch. It's part of the game feel. And if, like, the music isn't really hitting, you got something kind of boring on your hands. Now, is Twin Snakes actually great? I mean, you could probably argue that it's actually great. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm going to say that it's better than you remember. I don't think it's all that in a bag of potato chips. It will never be Metal Gear Solid as far as, like, aesthetics. It will never be Metal Gear Solid as far as aesthetics. What it tries to do by adding the Metal Gear Solid 2 engine is really cool. It's very unique, and it's a cool way to play the game. But it doesn't give you a good gameplay experience, which is why I can't make it actually great. The balancing issues are just terrible. If I said the original release had balancing issues, this game just dialed everything up to 11 on all fronts. But not only all fronts, namely balancing. So I got to be honest with you. That's where Twin Snakes sits for me. I know it's it's a favorite for some people. They prefer it over the original, but for me, nah. Okay. Hey man, what is going on over there? This is a genius stream idea. Oh, thanks, man. I actually, Spec gave me the idea. Spec's been doing a lot of tier list videos, so if you don't know, go check out his channel real quick. He's been doing a lot of cool shit. He has 2 channels. His secondary channel is where he does all of his gameplay stuff. This one is like one he like talks on. Are the Patriots still trying to boot me? Oh, I went back. Oh, Yeezus already knows. He already knows where I'm going to put MGS2. He already knows. She brapping? What's brapping? Twin Snakes is solid to me. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I respect everyone's opinion. Oh, you think it's actually great? Snake's Revenge is tier 1, but it's classified. I love Twin Snakes. The MGS2 gameplay breaks the damn game. It does. It really does, though. That's where I'm coming from. I'm in the minority who likes Twin Snakes dub. Okay. Well, I'm sorry if anything I said just offended you, but I mean, if you like the dub and you like it, that's fair. Then you like what you like. But yeah, that dub, like, people say the original game had bad audio quality. I didn't even hear it. I heard heart. Like, every line, I thought it was delivered great. So, I mean, we'll just agree to, like, disagree on that. I think the original had better audio as far as, like, heart. But if you like the dub, then you like the dub. The OST is so much better than Twin Snakes, though. That's for sure. Stormbreaker Pirate has been playing Twin Snakes with mods that put the original soundtrack back in. It makes the game a lot better. I'll be honest with you. MGS2. Brapping means ripping major ass. Alright. That sounds like my Friday nights. Nah, bro. It's all your opinion. No offense taken. Cool. I'm biased, though, because I grew up on Twin Snakes. I get that. I definitely get that, Yeez. And like that's the nature of opinions. They're gonna be biased because like we all grew up in like a different time and a different place. Like even me and Steele, like we're really close in age, but we grew up in different places. Like he and I are we have very different opinions. We just, you know, we're also not assholes to each other and we respect each other. So, but that's the nature of opinions. VR missions. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. VR missions, I played the fuck out of VR missions. When I knew I was hooked on Metal Gear, I got on eBay and I found a copy of VR missions. I had it delivered to my house for me like $20. Like, I saved up money, I did everything I could to get this fucking game. And when I played it, at first I was like, oh hell, what did they do? Actually, I won't even say that. I won't even say that, because I knew what VR missions had in store for me after playing the, you know, the first 10 inside of the game. Like, that comes with the vanilla release. The first 10 VR missions, I knew what I was in for. And I knew I liked it, so I wasn't like, oh hell, what did they do? But there were definitely some levels that gave me some challenges. And I'll be honest, like even as recently as like 2 or 3 years ago, I was still booting up my original PlayStation, trying to play this game. And like, I got obsessed with beating my own time. Also, shameless plug for my boy Steele. But if you don't know about it, Steele's been beating his own fucking world records. He's been beating world records, and then he's been beating his own records. With no glitches, no cheats, no bugs, nothing. Well, he did show off a glitch the other day that was pretty cool. But he's been beating his own records in just amazing fashion. So if you don't know what Steele's been up to, you need to go subscribe to this dude, because like, he's going to change your life. But I'll be honest, like, even if I didn't watch Steele rip this game apart and show me what it could do, I loved it. I think it's actually great. In fact, I think it's pretty solid. I think VR missions, the first one is really solid. It encapsulates like everything Metal Gear is on every mechanical level. It's part action, it's part sneaking, it's part tactics, right? But it will give you a short list of tools per level, and you figure it out. And if you can beat your own record, then like, that's part of the appeal, is the constant reiteration, and not just getting first place, but besting yourself. Metal Gear Solid VR Missions isn't not just a game that makes you play a game. It makes you it makes competition with yourself fun again. Honestly, no. I'm thinking about it. It's right behind Integral. It's right. I'm gonna leave it there. But that's how I feel about it. All right, I'm gonna catch up on the chat real quick before I start the next game. Y'all going off in here. I need to charge my Steam Deck and play Twin Snakes. Oh man, that would be a cool weekend. If you ever want to stream it, Sig, I'll pop into that. I'm sorry I haven't been in everyone's streams every weekend. I've been trying to catch up. I'll be honest, Death Stranding is really not my favorite like thing to watch, because it just reminds me so much of work. It's not my favorite thing to watch, but I have been trying to pop in and give everyone support and love. You can't play it due to having odd lighting issues. Interesting. I'd like to hear more about that. Odd lighting issues. Like, you need to turn up the screen brightness? Is that what you're saying, Wyatt? The scene in the elevator was destroyed by the new performances. I feel that. So, you gotta play Twin Snakes. So good. Hell yeah, dude. VR Mission's actually great. Played the shit out of this too. Hell yeah, Yeez. Still holding out hope Twin Snakes is on the Master Collection Volume 2, but I'm getting impatient and I'll probably just emulate it. I feel that. I think Steele's in the same boat as you, Seg. I think he wants that on there too. It probably should be. So tired of playing it on my Wii. Oh yeah, it can't be fun. But it is cool that you can play it on the Wii though. It's cool that it's not just locked to GameCube. You know, like, if we're going to give any company flowers right now, I'm going to give Nintendo a couple flowers for backwards compatibility. Volume 2, getting Winds of Winter treatment. Getting a Wii to play Twin Snakes is actually a good idea. Oh, Seg likes it. Seriously, you're right, Spick. Hell yeah. Steel's runs are great, bro. So good. You've seen them? Hell yeah, Yeez. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about putting it over MGS1. I just didn't do it. I was thinking about it. I was really close, though. I did come to my senses, but I was close. You fell in love with VR missions all over again. I saw that, too. I saw it happen in real time. He's been playing VR missions, like, all winter, dude. As in buttons on the left D-pad, on the right. Oh, it's like the controller that's messing you up, Wyatt? Playing on Wii is cool, but I wish it was upscaled to 1080p. It really needs to get upscaled to 1080p. Like part of Twin Snake's appeal is being higher resolution. But I think being locked on the GameCube also keeps it where it is. Well, not necessarily locked, but locked on Nintendo systems keeps it where it is resolution-wise. So it would be cool if it got what it deserved, but yeah, it should be in 1080p at least. Honestly, resolution is going up and up and up these days, so like I think it's a little weird when things aren't in 12 or 14. Like anyway, we're finally here. This is Metal Gear Solid 2. I'm holding it. But this isn't the only release of Metal Gear Solid 2 that there was. And I know some of my opinions are going to rub some people the wrong way. But it is a tier list video. It's all about opinions. I fucking love Metal Gear Solid 2. You remember earlier when I was talking about, like, without Metal Gear 2, we wouldn't have Metal Gear Solid? Like, it just wouldn't be a thing, right? Without those two games, like, the entire DNA of what a Metal Gear is couldn't be put in Metal Gear Solid 2 to be analyzed, extrapolated, and made it a parody. What this game did narratively, what it did functionally with gameplay, was not only an evolution of the games that came before it, but it was way better. It was way better. And, like, it was smoother, it was faster, it was just like, when I was trying to picture, like, the perfect Metal Gear sequel, being a kid, now imagine it's like 1997, you just wrapped up with Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation, and you're like 10, 11 years old. Put yourself in that time period. You're reading magazine after magazine. PlayStation, magazine, that used to be a thing, but you're reading everything. You find these interviews with Hideo Kojima, you're saving this shit like it's going to be like the gospel, like you're going to be able to print this out and treat it like a Bible one day. That's how invested and amped you are for this game to come out. It finally drops. You don't play a Solid Snake the whole game. That pisses off a lot of people. But who they gave me in return, they hit me at the right time. I'll be honest. Yeah, I wanted to play a Snake the whole fucking time. Everyone did. But I'll be honest. I was really into anime when this game came out, so, like, you gave me a protagonist that kind of, like, looks and moves like a ninja, and then you give him a sword at the ending, and people try to tell me, like, that's not how the game's supposed... Fuck off. This game's quiet bending over in front of me, dude. Fuck off. This game's wonderful. Eat a peen. This game's great, and if you don't like it, I'll be honest with you. If you don't like it, I get that. But I will say the reason you don't like it is because you haven't opened it. You haven't gotten into the game yet. You are trying to play games on your terms. This is a game that sold you its very own identity, and it wants you to engage with its identity on its terms. And if you try to play this game any other way, you're gonna have a bad time. You can't play this game like it's a modern Call of Duty game and have a good time. You're not gonna get like any Metal Gear game, by default, it's not going to be a fun game if you just run and gun the whole time. With the exception of maybe like MGSV. But Metal Gear Solid 2 encapsulates that. This is a stealth game through and through. And, I mean, what more can I say? Like, it built on top of everything. So, some people say, like, the controls in MGS2 are really bad. Let me just debunk that right now. If you don't like the controls in Metal Gear Solid 2, you don't like the controls in Metal Gear Solid 1, nor do you like the controls in Metal Gear Solid 3, because guess what? If it weren't for the controls of Metal Gear Solid 2, you wouldn't have Metal Gear Solid 3. And if it weren't for Metal Gear Solid 1, you wouldn't have the controls of Metal Gear Solid 2. This all this shit goes in like a genetic design line, right? I see it being built from the ground up from the 80s, and they just add things on top of it. And you have to keep compounding your knowledge as the games evolve. And if you don't, you're going to fall behind. That's where Metal Gear Solid 2 meets you. It says, play the fucking game. And if you want to do anything else than play the game, you're going to have a bad time. Metal Gear Solid 2 is fucking awesome. And, you know, I'm sorry if that hurts somebody's opinion, or the feelings, but these are opinions. And it's the GOAT, dude. It's the GOAT. All right, where are we at with this chat? Here comes the glaze. Played on the Wii was cool, but I wish it was upscaled. Yeah. Hoping for a new MGS1 remake would be phenomenal. I don't know if they're ever gonna. It's a little off topic, but I don't think they're actually ever gonna remake Metal Gear Solid 1. Because, like, I mean, Twin Snakes already exists, and I'm not saying like because it exists they won't consider it like a failure and not ever revisit it. It's just that when Twin Snakes already exists, and you remake a game that already has a remake, it almost kind of comes off as insecure about your own game, you know. So like Metal Gear Solid 1 was dope, like leave it alone. I don't think it needs a graphical upgrade. I don't think it needs a remake. I think the original voice acting was perfect. Metal Gear Solid 1 was a great game. It doesn't need a remake in my humble opinion. If any game in the series needs a remake at this point, like if we're getting to get Delta to remake 3, I want an MGS2 Pi or a Theta. I don't know. You pick your Roman numeral. I don't give a shit. You pick your Greek alphabet. I don't give a fuck about that. What I want is like, I want to put the shit to bed that people will complain about. Like, we'll throw this up in air quotes, tank controls in classic Metal Gear games. And it's like I just said, if you don't like the controls of Metal Gear Solid 2, you don't like Metal Gear games. They're not hard. They're simple. And they're not tank controls. Up moves you up, down moves you down. What did you expect? So, new generation of kids need to experience that peak story. They really fucking do, though. Quiet Tear. Quiet Tear. Quiet Tear is kind of my favorite. Raiden's ass cheeks tier. You know what? Raiden does have a nice butt. I'm not going to lie, dude. He does have... Between Snake and Raiden, like, they got more cheeks than Olga. Like, they are just clapping it up, all up in the big shell, dude. And, I know that might sound sus, but, yo, let's be real. I'm bi. It's 2025. If you're homophobic at this point, get the fuck out. I remember playing MGS2 as a kid, and the ending blew my fucking brain. Dude, it still blows my fucking brain out. Like, 20 years later, like, narratively speaking, we're still pulling the game apart. 20 years later... we're still pulling the game apart mechanically. The shit I saw Steel do on the MGS2 VR missions the other day, I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know you were capable of that. Like, 20 years later, this game is still fucking just breaking my brain. Metal Gear Solid 2 is awesome. I remember playing... and the GW shit has aged so well in the times that we live in. Honestly, Jesus, I'm glad you said it, because I forgot to. You're absolutely right. The shit in MGS2 has aged like fucking wine. It's like it came out of a time capsule and said, oh, I predicted this. It's wild too. Because like the way I'm not a Facebook user anymore. I have a Facebook for Oni Camo Gaming, but like, do I interact with it? No. I got better things to do. But like, if you've observed Facebook over the past 10 years, and how it's, for the lack of a better term, evolved with the times, what Facebook has done really feels like Patriot AI over time. And you're just dealing with shitty people. And like, the algorithm is feeding you this kind of shit to keep you in, to keep you in the drama, to keep you sucked in, keep you enraptured with false narratives and fake stories. And it's wild. It's wild. It's to keep you so distracted that you're not actually paying attention to what's going on around you. Playing as Raiden was really cool in your opinion because it gives you a chance to experience Snake as a more established character. Honestly, Jesus, that's a really good point because like, well, Steel's got a really cool theory about how Pliskin was at the big show the whole time, and then like Snake was never there. That's a cool theory. But back to that point. I heard somebody describe it once as like cutscene Snake, which is like God mode Snake. But it is really cool because like you played the Metal Gear Solid 1 and you like at this point you expect Snake as a character to be basically leveled up. And then you begin the Tinker mission and you're leveled up and stuff. But after the Tinker mission, you expect Snake to learn and be even more capable and more powerful. And at this point in the story, he's so narratively powerful that you can't control him. That was cool storytelling. Not everybody gets that layer. That was cool storytelling. Controls are bad. Pfft. Some people really don't like the controls in MGS2. I don't know what to tell them though. I don't think the controls are bad in Metal Gear games. I think it's just a... there are people who play the original Resident Evil games unabashedly, which have, by definition, they're called tank controls. I love the original Resident Evil games. And even Onimusha controls like that. And you can play an action game like that. And as cumbersome as those controls are, you can play an action game, you can play a survival horror with tank controls. Metal Gear Solid doesn't have tank controls. I think it's an even easier action game to play. Like, you can run a gun. Like, it's not easy to do it. You gotta get used to how the auto-aim works if you're gonna do things like that. But, I'm just saying, Metal Gear Solid 2, or Metal Gear Solid in general, doesn't have bad controls, in my humble opinion. If you've played other video games that I grew up with, and you think Metal Gear Solid has bad controls, I would just assume you don't know how to play video games. Like, the way I grew up was up, down was down. If you have ever played a JRPG, that's how they control. Up is up, down is down. But, I don't know, maybe I'm going on a rant now. Let's go down this list. I would love an MGS2 remake, though. The game with some quality of life features would make this game perfect. Would take less effort to remake than MGS1. You know, I think that's a pretty good point, too. You just, like, if they have all these assets sitting around on an external hard drive somewhere or something, like... Given the controls of quality of life upgrade, and just doing a little bit to the the graphics engine, just do a little bit to it, repackage it for a new audience. I think you're gonna have a hit on your hand on the scale that MGS Delta is trying to be. Hottest take of all time: if MGS2 had the same graphics as MGS1, it would be better. Wow, Wyatt, that is quite a take. I don't know if that's... I would say it's a hot take. It doesn't piss me off. So I'm not calling it a hot take because it's pissing me off. But I want to hear more about that perspective. How do you think MGS2 would be better if it had MGS1 graphics? That's a curious perspective. I don't think it's bad. B-Man, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, my man. B-Man's in the house. Welcome in, clan in the front. For MGS1, it would be cool to have a remake in the style of Resident Evil remakes. A whole reimagining since, like you said, they already remade it once. That would be cool. Yeah, MGS1 got Twin Snakes. MGS3 is getting Delta. I think MGS2, if we're going to go the remake route and try to get new people into the series by doing like the whole remake and give them quality of life upgrades with modern controls, fuck it. Let's do it for 2, because 2's awesome. Jesus. MGS2 and MGS1 graphics. See, Steel's curious about that too. He thinks it can work though. I mean, I don't think it wouldn't work. I just don't know how it would improve the game. Because I think the graphics were pretty good in MGS2. I was a little surprised that, like, more people haven't realized that MGS2 was ahead of its time when it came out. Like, when it came out on the PS2, like, I mean, if you have a PS2 library, just compare graphics. Just sit around and compare graphics sometime. Like, MGS2 is like miles ahead of most games on the same hardware, as far as graphics concerned. So, and that's not even where they spent all the budget. Like, the story is deep, the gameplay is deep. All right, now let's get real. What is this? Is this the PlayStation 2 version of Substance? Fuck off, Best Buy. No one likes Best Buy. It's called Must Die where I'm from. So this is the PlayStation 2 version of Substance. I'm gonna say the PlayStation 2 version of Substance beats out the original release, just because like you get all the VR missions, all the quality of life upgrades, and you can still play it on the PlayStation 2 controller, which is fucking cool. Metal Gear Solid 2 Subsistence HD. Well, I mean, it doesn't really get better than HD, does it? I mean, it's HD, it runs at the same frame rate. Like, I don't know. It could be worse. Unless it's the Xbox version, but I think it's HD. Let's zoom in real deep. Yeah, it says HD. So yeah, I would sit with that there for sure. I will say I do have the Xbox version of Substance, and while I do like it, just playing Metal Gear Solid on the Xbox controller with the white and black button as opposed to having an L1 and R1 button, it takes some getting used to. It's not my favorite. But if you have like modern hardware and you want to map your own controls using Joy to Key on your computer or something, like, I'm sure you would still have a good time. So that's all the Metal Gear Solid 2 glazing. Now, I'm here at Seg's favorite game. I'm about to do Metal Gear Solid 3. We ready for this? Is Seg still here? He might have zoned out, but that's cool. All right, where we leave off? I think it worked. B-Man. I have no opinions on any of this since I haven't played MGS yet, but I plan on in the future. B-Man's a big Legend of Zelda fan, and I love Legend of Zelda too. So like, I show up for that. I know Metal Gear is kind of a niche thing, so it's not for everybody. I call it anime for boot kids. But if you're not a boot kid and you don't like anime, it might be a hard thing, but I don't know. Inherently Japanesey things are just kind of fun for me. And Metal Gear is pretty fucking Japanese. So maybe we can get B-Man into the series over time, if it works out for him. It's so hard to recommend the MGS series to my friends since they're really shallow and want good graphics. Unfortunately, a lot of young people think like that. Yeezus, I get where you're coming from completely. The thick control scheme, I'm not going to call it 10 controls. I'm not going to say bad controls either. But I'm going to say it's a very thick and detailed control scheme. It's pretty off-putting for new players, especially ones that grew up spoiled with, like, you know, 4K graphics and like modern controls that you find in Call of Duty games and stuff. But I mean, it's a stealth game, and y'all want to complain that it doesn't play like a shooter. I just don't understand where the complaint is. So if MGS2 had the same style graphics as MGS1, all right, Wise explaining, it would create a full, thorough style to the series, and it would cement Metal Gear Solid style as a retro game. And if we did that, I would keep graphics. You know what? That's a pretty interesting point. It would make it like cohesive, like visually cohesive. I understand that. That makes sense, Wyatt. Graphics don't mean shit, and I think most of the series graphics held up well. I'm kind of with you on that too, Yeezus. I don't think graphics make a game. Honestly, Metal Gear Solid 1 could have been uglier, and I would still love it. It's okay, B-Man. I have that problem too, Yeezus. And the way... Go down. And the way through 4 creating Snake Story, the game. And the way through 4 creating Snake Story, the game. I'm not sure if I understand what you mean. Recommending. It sucks, Kratos. They're missing out on Peak. It's true, Yeez. MGS2 on 4D XXX. That'd be cool. Yeah. MGS, a top 5 gaming franchise in your opinion? Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think modern gaming would be where it is without Metal Gear Solid. Like the whole industry owes a shitload to Metal Gear Solid. You know, like every genre. Like, every genre. Like, they were pushing shit that was cutting edge graphically. But people are still trying to, like, figure it all out, you know? What a thrill with darkness and silence. Alright. I love Zelda 2. Cool. My favorite is Wind Waker and Majora's Mask. Oh, man. I haven't got to play Wind Waker yet. And Majora's Mask is really hard, but I do really enjoy it. Zelda tier list. Yeah, I guess we'll have to do a Zelda tier list one of these days. B-Man, you have to do a Zelda tier list, and you can put it up in the Discord if you want, bud. You have seen Wyatt play a lot of MGS, and it looks fun. Hell yeah, dude. Gonna destroy people's childhood. Spec. You funny. MGS3 was the first Metal Gear game to play that you played. And you wanted to play either that Sneaky or Full Rambo, one or the other. Okay, B-Man, Twilight Princess is his favorite. I'll have to watch him play that one. But Majora's Mask is really cool too. It's a hard game, but it's really cool. Midna about to get a beating. She's innocent. You're kidding. Keep MGS 1 through 4 the same. MGS1 graphics, creating a style for Snake's story, and then make Big Boss's story better graphics. It makes... Wow. That's an interesting idea, Wyatt. That's really artistic. I like where you're going with that. That would be cool. I thought it was OOT because of your name. Well, it was inspired by it, so I understand. Haha. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I thought B-Man of Time was a big Ocarina of Time fan. When I first saw B-Man's screen name, I was like, is he a Batman fan who also loves Zelda? Because, like, Harley Quinn will also, often shorten it to B-Man as she's goading or antagonizing him. Speaking of Batman, Spec just released a Batman movie tier list, and it was pretty good work. I'm gonna have to say, it's pretty good work. Alright. I know this is Seg's favorite game. I know this is Spec's favorite game. And I'm just gonna keep it a book, man. So, I have played this. I played the shit out of this. I don't think it's one of those games where it's like, oh hell, what did they do? It definitely moved the needle for me. I don't know if it could be better. It's definitely better than you remember if it's been a while. This game is actually great, for sure. Would I consider it solid? Definitely. This game is definitely solid. But it's not my favorite. Like, now this is the thing that's weird about opinions. I can recognize that Metal Gear Solid 3 is technically a better game, but it's not my favorite. So if that makes sense, I'm gonna put the vanilla release right above Solid 1 in the Solid tier. That's the vanilla release. Don't take off your panties yet. If they're all twisted up in your butthole, it's going to be okay. Keep your panties on, because we have another release from Metal Gear Solid 3, where it got even better, Jack. Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. This had Snake versus Monkey on it. More camo. Just better camera. Like, you can switch back and forth between classic camera or the 360 camera. And because of that one little quality of life upgrade that they put on the right fucking stick, put on R3, this game, while it's not my favorite in the series, it's... I mean, I gotta give credit where it's due, dude. Like, Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence with Snake versus Monkey, with the upgraded camera, with the upgrade, with more camo and shit. Bro, are you kidding me? This is quite bending over in front of me. This is amazing. Rock solid. Rock solid for that game. Alright, now, Metal Gear Solid 3 HD Collection. This might rub some people wrong. I'm going to say that it's better than the vanilla release, because it still has the quality of life upgrades with the camera, and it still has, like, all the camos and stuff. But they took out Snake versus Monkey. And that's a big deal breaker for me, you motherfuckers. They took out Snake versus Monkey. Oh, I forgot to mention that they put the original 2 games in here, Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. They put them on the subsistence release as well. That is a, like, as a package, like, you're gonna buy this. Like, you're a consumer, right? You're a consumer. You're buying something. You're gonna take it home and consume it. You're gonna bang for your buck. Not only did you have Snake versus Monkey, you had the first 2 fucking Metal Gear games, and there was no excuse anymore to say you didn't know what happened in the series. There's no excuse anymore to say, like, you didn't know what those games were about. There was no... And there might have been, like, some slight emulation issues that they found a workaround for, so it doesn't play exactly like the original, but, like, I mean, I call that shit a quality of life upgrade, dude. The only thing I will say is, like, if you break into Metal Gear 2 off of this disc and you don't have the manual when you get to Madnar, you might be a little confused. That happened to me. It was like proto-internet era. It was back before everyone was terminally online. I didn't have internet in my home when I was playing this game. That's where I was. Now, internet's like it's a standard of living. Like, you can't really even do your job without internet. So, it's hard for me to pick up work that doesn't require internet or 5 apps. Or whatever to just do the fucking job. So to be able to play this game back in the day, no internet, and try to run through Metal Gear 2 without like a manual or anything, that got a little confusing. I was asking my neighbors how Morse code worked. But on the other hand, that's kind of how these games were meant to be played, but they also intended for you to actually buy it and have the manual. Alright, I'm going to catch up to the chat. Who's pissed at me? Uh-oh, message retracted. Oh no, who's pissed? I actually just 100% MM for the first time. Oh, Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask. You've 100% of that, B-Man? That's cool. That's dope, dude. That's on your channel? Oh, man, I'll have to put it up and watch it when I get off here. Wyatt trying to be Kubrick. Quiet tier. Yeah, boy. It is quiet tier. Subsistence on PS2 is quiet tier. It's not my favorite Oni. Haha, 1 is. That's fair. Oh, 1 is your favorite, Spec? I didn't know that. I thought 3 was your favorite. But you don't know where it would be for you on a tier list? That makes sense. MGS3, Solid 3, MGS3 Substance, Solid, and MGS3 Subsistence Quiet tier. For sure. That's where I am with it. I think that's fair. In your opinion, MGS3 has a lack of depth in bosses and makes sense because it's a Bond replica with MGS, but still makes me want more. And the boss is the redemption for lack of all the children of her. That makes sense, Wyatt. It is a Bond story, but through like a Metal Gear lens. I might argue that the bosses in MGS3 don't have like narrative depth. Like the ones in MGS1 felt like. It was like there was just so much implied. Like you were invited to connect with the Foxhound Rebellion before the game ever started. In MGS3, like you meet the Cobras pretty early on. But like there's a dude with bees coming out of him. It's all pretty weird. Nothing's ever really explained. You don't know why people have powers or nothing. There's no nanomachines yet. So it's like, what the fuck is going on? MGS3 bosses can be a little weird narratively, but I think they are some of the deepest in the game series so far. Even over MGS2 bosses. I would say like MGS3 bosses have a lot more going on. And there's still multiple ways to beat almost every boss in the series, but for MGS3 to have not only an equal amount of layers, but like an amount of layers that's like it's like it hit a combo multiplier, you know what I mean? It's like this thing is working with exponents. Like we're not adding up strategies anymore. We're creating exponents. Thanks for everyone who's here though. Like, thanks for everyone who's watching and stuff. I really appreciate it. HD is missing the dream sequence game too, which sucks. You're right about that, Yeezus. That fucking sucks. There was the Guy Savage dream sequence, and that was in the vanilla release, and it was in the subsistence release, if I'm not mistaken. And they took it out for the HD port. That's not cool. That's what I don't like about the HD port for Metal Gear Solid 3 is while they give it a quality of life upgrade graphically, they took away a lot of the extra modes and stuff, and it's just, I don't know, it bums me out. It's less game for your money. We're buying these things for $60 a pop every time they come out, but it's like less game. That pisses me off. We shouldn't be taking content out of games when they get re-released. We should be putting more in. What kind of ass-backwards fucking design is that? I'm with you on that, Yeez. Valid tier placement. Alright, you're digging it. Story, the gameplay, everything is peak. Hell yeah. MGS3 HD had audio issues? I don't think it had audio issues, but if someone said it did, I mean... If it did have audio issues, I didn't know about it. Yeah, the Guy Savage game was dope, dude. Something came out of that demo. That would have been cool. But, oh, you made a typo, that's why you deleted it. That's all good. I said Democrat instead of demo. That must have been like an autocorrect on your phone, huh? That happens. Eminem's song tier list. Dude, that's going to be such a hard tier list. But I'm going to go ahead and give you my first spicy take. Rap God is under Godzilla. For Eminem songs, I think Eminem was way cleaner and way more fluid and way more artistic with Godzilla, and Rap God was like watching Yngwie Malmsteen shred for 6 hours. Like it's technically impressive, but it's not as musical. You know what I mean? So that's my hot take about Eminem songs. I sent my Zelda tier list in the Discord, but I made one error. I meant to put Majora's Mask 3D before Ocarina of Time 3D XD. Okay, fair. It does have audio issues, like insane ones. Oh yeah? Where would Launch Master Collection be put at? Launch? I don't know, man. I didn't actually play the Launch Master Collection, so I would just put it right there where I didn't play it and I don't have an opinion. Stan is your favorite Eminem song? No, that one's good. That sample is so good, dude. You're talking about the, what's her name, Ditto? Her vocal tracks? No, she was like butter on that. And that was a really good flow, and I really liked the story that he was telling. That's something else about Eminem, like, I don't know, like, how musically inclined everyone here is. This is a little bit of a tangent. I'm really into music, and I love like a lot of different kinds of music, but I have a very, very big soft spot for things like hip-hop and rap. And I have a nuanced opinion about Eminem, because, like, well, let's just bring up the race issue. He's a white guy. I'm a white guy. We're guests in the house of hip-hop. But he was never disrespectful about it. He never bastardized it. But because, like, he took up a certain amount of space in white spaces, doing his kind of art form, he got more attention in certain ways that would arguably, it should have gone to other rappers. And that's kind of the Eminem problem. Like, a lot of attention he got was earned. He deserves all of his success. But, like I said earlier, like, without Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, you can't have Metal Gear Solid 1. Like, without like, Busta Rhymes, are you really going to get Eminem? Like, without like, Dr. Dre, you wouldn't have Eminem's first album. And, like, without the Wu, without A Tribe Called Quest, like, all these flows that existed before him gave him the inspiration to become the artist that he is. And I will never take that away from him. Eminem is an artist. He's amazing. you just sneeze extremely loud. Bless you, bud. The fucking bridge scene in Chop to Hill. Word. No, I think Eminem's amazing. It's just it gets a little complicated when you like really love the whole art form of hip hop. And like me, I'm cognitively aware. I mostly listen to black artists when I listen to hip hop. Like I hardly ever put Eminem on, but when I do, I always say, "Damn, that's good," which is some kind of testimony in and of itself, right? If I say I mostly listen to black artists, not even like cognitively, I'm just doing that, and his rhymes are hitting like that and make me go, "Damn, that was good." There's something to Eminem. He's not my favorite rapper, but I know he's extremely talented. Alright, let's get back into it. We're still technically in the Metal Gear Solid 3 world, so let's get honest. Metal Gear Solid 3 on the 3DS, I have a 3DS. I would really like to play this. I heard that I've seen so many quality of life upgrades for it that I would really like to play this. And it looks really cool, like they added crouch walking and stuff. This is like Delta before Delta. It's just on a smaller screen. So, I'm going to be honest, it looks super cool, but I haven't actually played it, and we all know I already like the story. So we're going to put this in the pink tier. Pink tier is not low tier. Pink tier is a safe tier. I just haven't played this version of the game. It might be better. And from what I have seen, it would probably go all the way up here. I would probably put it up here. Maybe right behind the original release, because like Snake vs. Monkey is a big deal to me. But because I haven't played it yet, I'm going to leave it there. And I haven't actually played it yet, but I like the story tier. Okay. How's the chat doing? Squad goals. Pharrell Williams was the best to do it. Man at one point was running the whole radio. Hell yeah. Do produce so much. MGS 3D better than you remember, in your own opinion. Okay. I appreciate that, Yeez. It's unfortunate I haven't gotten to play it, because I would probably agree with you. The crouch walking makes it a nice experience. Alright, yeah, see, that's what I was imagining. Still here? Yeah, he is. If only the 3DS had a second analog stick at launch. Oh my god, that would be so great. Survive is the best your game with zombies. Oh, Wyatt. He's about to do some stuff. I'm about to make dinner, so I will be radio silent. Shh. Alright, make some dinner. What are you making, Snake? What are you making, Steel? What are you making for dinner, dude? Can I come over? I'm just kidding. I wouldn't make a Delaware trip at 5:56 in the afternoon for dinner. I wouldn't make it. I would like free dinner, but it wouldn't be worth it. Yes, this list is definitely Oni Camo Gaming approved. Aw, thanks, Damon. Welcome in, dude. If y'all don't know, Damon Does is one of my best friends. He's also a creator. He mostly does, like, podcasts and interviews, but he interviews, like, nerdy people who have, like, made games, role-playing games, people who have written books, all kinds of stuff. So if you don't know about what my dude Damon's doing, Damon Does. So click on him, subscribe, and then you'll find out next time what Damon's doing, because Damon Does. Also, his birthday's coming up in, like, 3 days, and I'm trying not to miss it, but early happy birthday, and it's on record on the live stream. Happy birthday, Damon. Early. Happy early birthday. Sup, Damon? Yeah. Hey, everyone, welcome Damon in. That's great. See, this is why I love my community. Y'all are the best. Alright, so this one here, this looks like it's going to be... I need to zoom in. I can't see this. I think this is supposed to be Portable Ops Vanilla. So I actually have a copy of Portable Ops, but I never owned a PSP. So that's kind of a situation. I'll be honest. I haven't played Portable Ops, but I want to. I own a copy of the game, and I think the story looks really cool. Even though that there are definitely, like, canon issues that Steel and I have went through exhaustively. We've definitely experienced canon issues with the game. Like, Sokolov had a pretty definitive death in Metal Gear Solid 3, and if this game's a sequel, why the fuck is he in here wearing basically the same clothes as though he's never had, like, a leg broken? So Portable Ops, I want to give it a higher thing. I just haven't actually played it, but the story does look pretty cool, even brushing some stuff aside. Same thing with this other release. I just have to put it here because I didn't know. I don't know. And I gotta be fair, I don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. If there are any big stands in here for Portable Ops, definitely didn't mean to offend you. I think Portable Ops is a cool looking game, like gameplay wise. I watched Stormbreaker Pirate Stormy play Portable Ops like several hours. Different videos, but for several hours. And it looks like a really fun gameplay loop. And the story looks pretty engaging, so I have a copy of it. I might emulate it, because from my understanding, if you own something, you can emulate it without, breaking any laws. So one of these days, I might actually cover Portable Ops. It looks pretty cool. Metal Gear Solid 4. Alright, when Spec said earlier that there's going to be blood, this is probably where there's going to be blood. I'm going to piss somebody off. I got some opinions about Metal Gear Solid 4, and you might not all agree with them. Here, let me explain something about Put this back down. Let me explain something about Metal Gear Solid 4 real quick. Guns of the Patriots. The last game, canonically in the series, in the timeline, was Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. And the next game we got was a prequel. Snake Eater, right? If you're all Metal Gear fans, you fucking know this. This is basic math. So what's the point? Why am I saying all this? Well, if you played Sons of Liberty, you might distinctly remember how it ended with, like, them revealing that the Patriots were, like, 12 wise men, or something like that, and that they're all also dead. You pick up in MGS3, and the game ends with this cast of characters who get retroactively retrofitted into this story moving forward. Sigint was also the DARPA chief. That's fucking weird. It makes the universe just feel too small. Paramedic was the same doctor that worked on X, Y, and Z. It's just like, it makes the universe feel too small. Zero is everywhere. And Steele and I were talking about this, I think when we were recording the podcast, like, Metal Gear Solid 4 didn't need to have Zero in it. And, like, I get it. By this time, like, Big Boss is pretty much Hideo Kojima's favorite character, and he wanted to kill off Solid Snake, so he didn't have to make any more fucking Solid games. I get it. But those are very strong design philosophies that are going to put a very strong flavor, maybe even a bad taste, in somebody's mouth when they love these games, they love the story, and they thought you were going somewhere else with it if you were going to pick it up. So, everyone who, like, sent Hideo Kojima death threats to get Metal Gear Solid 4 made, fuck you. Fuck you. For one, that's not how you get a game made. For two, he didn't want to make the game. And for three, I got a game I didn't want to play. That's what's going to piss people off. I've played MGS4. I actually liked it. Gameplay-wise, I actually liked it. I would say gameplay-wise, it was the pinnacle of the series at the time. It added the threat ring, the Octo Camo, like, kept you from menuing too much, as opposed to Metal Gear Solid 3's camo system. So, like, all of that was really cool. The pacing, like, gameplay-wise, the pacing was really good. All the unique set pieces and stages were really cool. And at this point, you're probably asking yourself, like, where's Oni going with this? Because he just said this wasn't the game he wanted to play. No, this wasn't the Metal Gear Solid game I wanted to play. I loved Metal Gear Solid 2. I thought we were going somewhere with this whole, like, 12 Patriots thing. I wanted the story, and this is me, like, rewriting the story at this point, but what I wanted for Metal Gear Solid 4 was to not have a decrepit Snake about to die. I wanted him to be hot on the case to find Sunny, Olga's daughter, like he said he was going to do when he wrapped up MGS2. He's like, I'm going to go find, Olga's kid. I wanted to play that mission where we, like, broke into, like, some Patriot compound, rescued and freed a captive child. That would have been cool. I wanted a version of events where you play through Metal Gear Solid 2 from Snake's perspective leading up to that. That would have been cool. So, like, if Metal Gear Solid 4 was... Now, this is a wild idea, but this is an Oni idea. If Metal Gear Solid 4 picked up with the events of Metal Gear Solid 2, but you played him from Snake's point of view, then you rescued Olga, and then you did some other wild shit that, like, Metal Gear has never even done before, I would have been narratively satisfied, as long as, like, they just made the game good. Is the gameplay good in Metal Gear Solid 4? It's fucking amazing. The gameplay is amazing. But I just fucking hate the story. Every single character got some kind of send-off, some kind of payout, and it's like, in other contexts, like, that's every nerd's fantasy. Like, you want all of your favorite characters to get a send-off. Maylene didn't need to be here. Naomi's character betrayed what she said at the end of Metal Gear Solid 1 by basically committing the Sioux and succumbing to cancer. That is completely against what her character was preaching to Snake when she fucking injected him with a death virus and said, just live, Snake, just live. Well, who's not living now, bitch? So she ain't living now. And she did that to herself, and it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. This game, story-wise, there's so much going on in here, and the more they add, it makes the soup taste worse. Metal Gear Solid 4 is actually great. It's actually great. But fuck this story. Fuck it in the butt. I don't like this story. It's a terrible story. Meryl getting married? Didn't need it. To Johnny Sasaki? Mr. Poopy Pants? Come on. Don't give me a... If you're going to give me a send-off for every character, give me a better one than that. Also, we already talked about this until I was blue in the face the other night in Discord, but I don't like Drebin. I don't need a dude doing magic tricks with a smoking monkey. Like, also, his whole thing was terribly convoluted. By the time by the time of the end of the game, he comes to the wedding doing magic tricks and shit. He reveals that he was working for the Patriots the entire time, and it retroactively makes the entire game more confusing because when you play through it again and you're like, is he on my side or not? At which point is he not on my side? And he might be on your side the whole time, but it's just like, is he on your side or not? It's just too much. It's too many layers. Like, there's too many layers. That's like if somebody built a taco, they took a tortilla, right? And then they put in like some sauce, then they put in some meat, then they put in some cheese, a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of tomatoes, and then you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a great taco, maybe even a burrito, I could roll that up, it's going to be perfect, and then someone puts another tortilla on top, and starts building another taco, and it's like, wait, I wanted to eat that first taco. That's what Metal Gear Solid 4 feels like. It feels like a double-decker taco that you never get to eat. I've never actually described it like that before, and I feel like that's the best I've ever been able to communicate my thoughts. It's a double-decker taco you can't eat. And what's the point of a double-decker taco? You just ruined a perfectly good taco. Alright, let me catch up on chat. I probably pissed everybody off. Oh my goodness. Snake Survives the best game? No, it's not. Yeah, the other one is plus with Salute. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's plus with Salute. So it's the expanded version. That makes sense for portable apps. The one MGS game you never played, I have to change that. Same to me, dude. I have to play portable apps. It's Decoy Octopus. Why it's hilarious. I love this guy. Uh-oh, MGS4 time. MGS4 is actually great. Now, I mean, I would say it's actually great. It's actually great. Gameplay-wise, it's a fucking cool game. It's a little too short gameplay-wise, but it's like 10 hours of cutscenes. It would go higher if the story just wasn't just too much garbage. It's not only is it just like not a great story, it's a lot of a not great story. Just make me the one taco. Or build a second taco to the side of the taco I had so I can have more tacos back to back, but just layering on more tortilla. MGS4 felt like I was just biting into nothing but tortilla until like I got to the end. Story-wise. Does he not like it? No, I really do like MGS4 gameplay-wise. In fact, we haven't even got to talk about Metal Gear Online, but Metal Gear Solid 3 pioneered Metal Gear Online. That was super fucking cool. Metal Gear Solid 4 is where I actually joined Metal Gear Online. And I learned what the game was like, dude. Like, people are fucking brutal and vicious on there, and they will make fun of you the entire time that they chicken hawk you. And I came up with that term because chicken hawk, when I was playing Metal Gear Solid 4's online mode back in the day, I was like 23 years old. Man, this was so long ago. But I remember being on there, and there were these dudes that would, like, you're supposed to get broken up into, like, servers to where you're, like, more or less playing people who have been playing about the same amount of time as you. But there are these dudes who would, like, figure out a way to break into the server that you're playing on, who are just, like, incredibly good at the game, been playing forever, very leveled up, and then just, like, come in and start pushing your shit in. And it's like, okay. So, it's like, it's the game, it is what it is, it's whatever. I didn't get pissed about it, but I would call them chicken hawks, because they wouldn't go play with anybody their own level. They would have to go and pick on new players. So, this is Wyatt says, stop the Drebinate. I love you, Wyatt, but I don't know if I can stop the Drebinate, man. We're going to be here for a bit. Yeah, the story is stupid at times. I'm with you on that, Yeez. MGS5 could have been the legit sequel to 2. Then our MGS4 chronologically. Why didn't they give Snake the SOCOM 2? He has Big Boss Pistol. Honestly, that's a good point. And in real life, I don't know if y'all are like big gun guys. I'm not the biggest gun guy, but you know, like being a Metal Gear fan, you kind of just start getting used to seeing guns all the time. I own a gun. I keep it in the case all the time. I'm not like some kind of weirdo about it. I own a gun. I just don't think like they're the coolest thing ever, but from my understanding, if you're going to own any pistol, the 1911 is pretty horribly outdated, and it's not a very solid weapon without, like, huge upgrades. When Big Boss was, like, gooning over the 1911 in MGS3, it was a highly optimized weapon that he was gooning over, right? If he got like a vanilla out of the box 1911, he'd be throwing that shit away the first time he got another pistol. I understand people who dislike MGS4, it can be interesting at times. For sure. They had to make it a 4 regardless. Well, I mean, 4 just shouldn't have come out under the conditions that it came out. Like, they made the game under duress, and I think that shows in the narrative. Steel and I were also talking the other day about like the Beauty and the Beast core. Now, if anyone wants to argue over who's like the best bosses in the series, there are a lot of names that we can throw in the hat, but no one ever mentions anyone from the Beauty and the Beast core, and that's for a very fucking good reason. They're recycled ideas done up with nothing but just max sexism. The Beauty and Beast core sucks. Fuck the Beauty and Beast core. Such an uninspired fucking gameplay loop of just beat the boss and then have Drebin give you a radio dump of all their trauma. Like, it was... You remember how we got, like, all the diegetic details of Foxhound? We got it through different, like, cutscenes, and we got it through, like, how the characters interacted with one another. And people were, like, disappointed that they didn't get the same out of Dead Cell. No one talks about the Beauty and Beast core because there's nothing to go on. They fucking suck. Narratively speaking, I don't know. Salt Bentley was... Or the Salt Factory Bentley, Steak Bentley. Man, he's... I don't know if he needed a 4 or 5 hour video about it, but, like, he's right about so much shit in Metal Gear Solid 4. It just didn't need to happen. Give Metal Gear Solid 4 its own tier. No, not the Drebin hate. I'm sorry, Wyatt. Kojima was Drebin. Changed my mind. You know, you might be right, Steel. Or it was Decoy Octopus. Also, you think Kojima said 4 was his favorite? Wow, that would be really interesting. If I don't know if that's true or not, Spec, but if it turns out that was his favorite, that'd be really interesting. Imagine making a game under death threats and then turning around and being like, this is my favorite one. That'd be fucking weird. It's also stupid how they immediately trust Drebin, like, dude is obviously sketch. No, that is definitely, I'm with you on that, Yeez. Like, the dude was obviously sketch. Like, anybody who has a pet monkey, and gives them cigarettes. Like, you got too much. There's too much flavor going on here, dude. You gotta explain yourself. So, you got a pet monkey and you're giving him cigarettes. Like, there's too much going on. How big of a difference would it make if the story was meh at best? In Metal Gear Solid 4, this might be my hot take. This might be where I draw some blood, but the story of Metal Gear Solid 4 is meh at best. If you ask me, I think it's meh at best. Strong meh. I hear Bart Simpson's voice in my head right now. Meh. Meh all the way through. The Sheen 1911 is still as good as a Beretta. I mean, if you clean up a 1911 and give it, you know, the quality of life upgrades a 1911 needs, it's definitely as good as a Beretta. But, you know, for my money, like, while the Glock is amazing, like, you can jam that thing with sand, it can fire underwater. The Glock is amazing. The best sidearm was the one that we used pretty much all throughout the 80s and 90s, the Beretta 92F. It is a very good sidearm. Very solid. You know where the bullet's going to go. You look down the iron sights, you know where the bullet's going to go. The Beretta was a very good weapon. It sucks that Beretta hasn't really replaced the 92F in a way that meaningfully competes with the Glock, because the Beretta APX, I feel like, is supposed to compete with the Glock, but it's not accurate. It's very inaccurate. I've owned both a 92F and an APX, and the 92F is way better as far as Beretta weapons. So I would love to say Beretta makes top tier shit, but that's not an empirical truth. MGS4 needs to be ported badly. Sucks it's still on the PS3. Fun fact about the MGS4 being locked on the PS3 is that during production, at one point they played with the idea of trying to put it on the 360, but the concept was so how do I want to say this? At the end of the day, it was just such a laughably bad idea. Because imagine buying MGS4 in a bright green Xbox 360 case, right? Like you would back in the day. And the thing weighs like a pound. Why would it weigh that much? Aside from the fucking manual and all that. It's because if they were to put MGS4 in its entirety on any other system, it would take a minimum of 10 discs, which is just laughably not feasible. You know, it's like, honestly, if you sent me 10 discs and said, like, this is the best way to play it on, and you gotta switch out discs, like, I grew up in that era where switching out discs was a norm. I grew up with Final Fantasy, I grew up with multi-disc games. I get it. But in the era of the 360, multi-disc games were still only like 2 to 4 discs. Anything over that was ridiculous. You remember, like, what was it, Sky of the Blue Dragon or something? Like, I think that RPG was multi-disc on the 360. But imagine buying a game that's 10 discs long. Most people wouldn't fuck with that. I would. I'm a Metal Gear fan. But that's one of the big reasons it stays locked on the PS3, is because it was built from the ground up with the specs of the PS3 of its hardware in mind. That it was made integral to the design process of Metal Gear Solid 4 from the ground up. And that's basically why the game is locked to the PS3. The Drebin dump pissed you off. It was so repetitive. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I know Wyatt doesn't want to hear me like hate on Drebin, and I'm sorry, man, but Drebin calling up, I don't even know how he knew we were in these boss fights, but he would like call you up after every boss fight and give you a lore dump. And it's like, that is just such ass backwards storytelling. To tell me about somebody's life after I've defeated them. Like, if you want to give this character weight and make me feel like any kind of conflict about fighting them, build that shit up on the way to meeting them. But being a lore dump afterwards, garbage storytelling. Hot garbage. Beauty and the Beast, garbage. Trauma dumps, Apex, ugly them, motherfucker. APX, the APX is kind of ugly. It's supposed to compete with the Glock. What I do like about the APX is that it's extremely compact. It holds 16 plus 1. So I got 17 shots loaded in at any time. The APX is kind of dope. It just sucks as it's not as accurate as the 92F. Sucks that 360 never had a Blu-ray support. We were so close to having it. Apparently they had it running on Windows, running it on 362. So the thing about the 360 and the PlayStation 3, when they were coming out, it was kind of like an arms race of technology too. So a little bit of a history dump. Sorry y'all, but if you're here for it, you're here for it. But a little bit of history dump if you're into this kind of thing. When the PS3 was coming out, it was pushing Blu-ray technology as like the next step from DVDs, right? And when the 360 was coming out, Microsoft was pushing their own narrative about what the next step from DVDs would be, and it would be HD DVDs. Now, we are all here in 2025, so we know who won. Blu-ray won. The PS3 won. There you go. Final Fantasy IX had 4 discs. I don't think it was any higher than that. Right. The Glock. 360 won it out first, I think. Yeah. The 360 definitely, it was a cool system, man. It was definitely a cool system, but you can't deny that Blu-rays are pretty cool, too. It sucks that the way, like, movies have changed their, model of releasing things. Like, they don't give you special features on the DVD anymore. You gotta buy the Blu-ray. And it's like, alright, I have a PS3, so I can play Blu-rays, but fuck you. Alright, back into it. I've been talking for a minute. So we got Peace Walker. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't actually played Peace Walker, and I know a lot of people have some pretty strong opinions about it, but the more I watch Peace Walker, I enjoy the story. I think it adds things that are interesting. It adds to the legend of Big Boss to build up what kind of dude this guy's supposed to be by the time you face him as Solid Snake, right? And so does Portable Ops. Story-wise, I think they're really cool and important to the mythos of Big Boss. But since I haven't personally played it, I'll just have to leave it there for now. Same thing with the HD port, unfortunately. I think the voice lines, that was probably some of David Hayter's best work as Snake ever in Portable Ops. Fucking amazing. All right, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I'm gonna keep it a book. I own this game, and I bought it for myself a couple years ago. It is still in factory cellophane. I haven't opened it yet. I've been slowly going through the series or trying to tackle other objectives on YouTube. I haven't even played this game yet. I think it looks fucking cool. I don't think the story is all that. I don't hate the story. I mean, it's been spoiled to death, like, so I've already seen gameplay. I've watched full run-throughs of this game at this point. I don't think the story is all that in a bag of potato chips, but it's really no worse than Peace Walker or no worse than Portable Ops. So if you dig those stories, I think it's on par with that. Gameplay-wise, it looks fucking sexy. So not only have I not played it, but I'm going to put it at the top of the I haven't played it tier to illustrate how much I want to. Same thing with Portable Ops Plus and the HD collection of Peace Walker. I want to play all of those more than the other 3. I don't need the vanilla port, and I don't need the 3DS port all that much. I would like to experience it, but if we're getting Delta, I can hang. All right, who's gonna get pissed off now? I'm gonna go ahead and skip checking in the chat because I got talking for like way too long last time. I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple, do maybe 2 games and then check the chat. But let's get real, dude. Metal Gear Solid V, Ground Zeroes. How pissed were you when this game came out for $60 and it was 30 minutes long? Now, I was pissed at Metal Gear Solid 4 for being 10 hours long with cutscenes. But at least it had really good gameplay. This game does something kind of different. It has basically no fucking story. what story you get is dark and you don't want it. It sucks. It's depraved, dude. The story in this game is depraved. It's the darkest thematically the game series has ever taken the narrative, and I didn't like it, nor did I appreciate it. Now, I played this game. I played it a lot. I would say it did move the needle for me. I don't think it could be better. I don't think it could be much better gameplay wise, but I will say that is probably better than you remember. It basically has the same engine as Metal Gear Solid V, right? The Phantom Pain. It basically has the same engine. There's only like one slight difference, is that the big boss gets up differently from his dolphin dive. It has like slightly different animations and so slightly different properties. And I think it's slightly slower in Ground Zeroes, but canonically speaking, if you're into this kind of thing, that makes sense to me, because the medic, who is the body double, right? Venom Snake, he's technically a different guy, so if he controlled slightly differently, that makes sense to me narratively. Now, Metal Gear Solid V, the Phantom Pain. Now, talk about a lack of story. Ground Zeroes had a lack of story, and what story they had was dark. This game is basically unfinished. I did play it. I didn't think, oh hell, what did they do? It did move the needle for me. There were some instances where I thought it could be better, but I did think it was better than a lot of people gave it credit for. In some ways, I thought it was actually pretty great. Like, the gameplay is smooth as butter in that fucking game. I might even say it's solid. With how the gameplay is smooth as butter. But there have also been some retroactive updates that have come through Konami post Kojima's firing that make the game even more of a slog for me. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to put it like just right above Ground Zeroes. It's better than you remember. It's not that great. It's pushing for an A+. But I'm going to have to give it a B because like there's no story. And what story you get kind of just muddies the whole plot. I didn't need Mantis as a kid. I didn't need Skullface. I didn't need any of that shit. That story sucked, dude. Gameplay, it was like butter. Honestly, fucking butter, dude. I put it above Twin Snakes. As far as like gameplay, if Twin Snakes is better than you remember because of gameplay alone, then Metal Gear Solid V is better than Twin Snakes. By that metric. But if you're saying like story-wise, I don't know. Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes isn't canon to me. It's a side story that could potentially be seen as somebody's VR training. And Metal Gear Solid V, I know its canonicity is dubious to some in the chat. I kind of like the whole twist of Venom Snake being the first big boss to get defeated in Outer Heaven by Solid Snake. I like that twist. I think it adds like a narrative cohesion that the series didn't necessarily lack, but to fill that in and then work it in thematically through gameplay, that was a stroke of genius that I really do appreciate. So it's better than you remember. Alright, we're here to Metal Gear Solid Survive. Y'all excited? I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick and see how much y'all are yelling at me. Peace Walker could be better for you. You hate the bosses and the later missions so much. It sucks because at times it could be really good too. Oh, bummer. Next is Wyatt's favorite, LOL. The story is really good too. The game would really benefit from a remake. I need to play Revengeance. Yeah, I need to play Revengeance too. Hey, what's up, Brian? Rising is fun as hell, not MGS at all. The Jetstream DLC gameplay is a really underrated post-game shakeup. Man, I can't wait to experience that. But welcome to the stream. My name is Brian. It's good to see you. Like a flood of pain. Here comes Steel's fave pretty soon. I thought it was worth every dollar in retrospect. A word? Oh, shit. I love Ground Zeroes and Hyoscite. Oh, yeah? Is that... Wow, okay. Word up, yeez. My name is Brian. Bruh, me and all my friends were like, hey, do we unlock campaign after the side ops? That's funny. GZ is okay for me. Phantom Pain wouldn't be in a top 10 in a top 10 on your list. Oh, Steel's coming out hard. It wouldn't. Phantom Pain doesn't even rank, dude. Oh yeah, glass of wine. The Phantom Pain is one of Yeezus' favorite. The story is also stupid though, so he LOL'd. Also, the world was so unnecessary. The open world was so unnecessary. I big agree on the open world being unnecessary. It really just fucked up the gameplay loop for me in the Phantom Pain. Like, I've said this a couple times, so like anyone who's already heard this and they're sick of hearing it, I get it. But I didn't appreciate being dropped off like miles away from my objective and then just like have to book it. Like, you couldn't put me like, I don't know, maybe like 1 mile away, let me use my fucking binoculars and like plan my route like a little closer. But I get it, like, you know, planning how you're gonna infiltrate a place from far away as you approach, like, that's part of the appeal of the Phantom Pain. I get that, but I didn't need to fucking walk through the entire wasteland, dude. And that's kind of like a problem with open world games in general. It's like, unless you really know what you're doing with that kind of gameplay design, like Breath of the Wild or something like that, like you basically got something going on every 45 seconds, every minute, you don't really need to have an open world game. Like, what's the most engaging thing you can do in the open world in Metal Gear Solid V Phantom Pain when you're not actively in a base? The most engaging thing you can do is capture animals and pick up plants. Or you could get a Jeep airdropped and then just like fucking roll around in a Jeep, but it's not, there's no cars or traffic. It's not Grand Theft Auto. There's no like wanted system. Like, you're not gonna have the same kind of immersive sandbox fun in an open world environment with Metal Gear Solid's framework as you would like a Grand Theft Auto. And it just didn't make any sense to me to like do it like that. Phantom Pain is a disgrace. Strong opinions from Spec, but I feel it though. It's an unfinished game. It's the best unfinished game. PT? Well, PT's not really a Metal Gear game, but I would say PT was pretty cool. Gameplay is just too good though. Yep. That's my line with it, Yeezus. It's just that, like, the Phantom Pain's gameplay is really fucking good. It's really smooth. Side ops are main missions now. Yeah, I didn't really like the side ops either in Phantom Pain. I didn't like how like the missions like would repeat, like Radiant quest style. Like, I remember I showed up to this one field, and I shit you not, like, I did the same scenario of, like, capturing tanks and guards, like, 4 times. And it was cool that the game, like, added stuff, like, if you do things a certain number of ways, a certain number of times, that the guards will, like, start building in strategies for you. But, like, that really didn't change up the overall experience enough to justify making me basically play the same mission 4 fucking times for what, GMP? Just give me that shit, dog. Like, put it on a clockwork, man. Like, I got soldiers out there getting shit for me, right? Canonically, put that shit on a clock. I don't know. The Phantom Pain pissed me off. Brian, what? Why? Exactly. Side ops are indeed main missions. They shouldn't be, though. Technically. Isn't all of Metal Gear Solid VR training? I'm glad you mentioned that, Brian, because there is a working theory that basically every game release is the VR version of events, and that the actual real-world events happen slightly differently. I think that's a cool theory. Me and Steel have been talking about it for a while. So, shameless plug, go subscribe to Retro Runner so you catch our podcast whenever we drop that. Canon, the word of words. Wait, maybe Twin Snakes was MGS1 in Raiden's mind? That's actually my spec. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's actually my preferred headcanon. I prefer thinking of Twin Snakes as Raiden's VR mission of Metal Gear Solid 1, and that's why it has like the same controls and graphics. Twin Snakes is still accepted as Solid Snake, based off of Kojima and Konami point of view. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, Steel, but at this point in my life, I have headcanon that kind of like precedes even director canon, because like, let's be honest, you and I have both noticed it, like the dude will forget his own story as he starts working on a new game, and stuff gets retconned left and right. Like, who is Dr. Madnar, a guy or a girl at this point? I don't even fucking remember. So like, stuff is getting retconned all the time. So if Konami or Kojima wanted to tell me it's canon, like, you got to deal with my head canon first, dude. Like, you got to make it make sense. Because, like, I don't know. If Twin Snakes is canon, why did Snake stop doing backflips when he got to Metal Gear Solid 2? Why isn't he... And this is cutscene Snake, so, like, if anyone's, like, allowed to flip over rockets and be, like, over the top at this point, it'd be Solid Snake. But Metal Gear Solid 2 was a pretty grounded set of events. I don't know. Not even Kojima can sway me on this. Twin Snakes is not... It's not the IRL events. To me, at best, it's Raiden's interpretation of events from his VR training. That's my personal headcanon. The enemy detection was absolute bullshit in the Phantom Pain 2. It was pretty hard to avoid them in that game. Steele's laughing. Yuza said, "When you can't even say my name, has the memory gone? Are you feeling numb?" Is that a quote from one of the games? I didn't insult you, did I? I hope I didn't insult anybody. Oh god, not that song. Oh, it must be a song. Okay. It must be a song from the game. I thought enemy detection of Phantom Pain was great, given we couldn't adapt camo. Yeah, you basically just had, like, the one loadout, and then that's what you were stuck with. So it definitely made you play, like, a certain way on the fly, and I thought that was... The Phantom Pain had cool gameplay, like, don't get me wrong. I just don't think it benefited a lot from open world, and the story was unfinished, and that's a bummer to me. Jesus agrees with Brian. I love how my name gets thrown out there for the theories. Haha, now I'll get all the blame. Oops, maybe I shouldn't have been saying Steele's name all this time. But, I mean, we have been talking about these theories, and, you know, shameless plug. Somebody's probably going to want to hear what we got to say. They're probably going to watch it eventually. It's pretty cool. Madnora was always a guy. Okay, who am I thinking of? Paramedic ended up, like, taking somebody's place in the narrative. Who was she? I forget. But yeah, like, when I said MGS3's canon got, like, retconned into, like, the rest of the series going forward, like, Sigint being DARPA chief and stuff like that, Paramedic became one of the doctors that were, like, a big deal in the series. And I'm pretty sure their pronouns was, like, he, him, they before the retcon, so that's my confusion on that. I didn't really appreciate the retcons from MGS3. 20 more days till Delta. Here we go. Whoop whoop. But that's how we know that MGS1 is solid and not Raiden. Raiden doesn't know about Snake's Fox Die and being a clone until after 2. That's a good point. That's a good point, Steele. The song in MGS theme. The song is a stupid MGS thing. Oh, okay, got you. The best part of Delta is I already know the story, so I don't have to stress about missing or rewatching parts of the game. That's cool, yeah. I'm with you on that, Brian. You already know the story, so you can just, like, get enraptured with the world. I'm in the house like carpet. Specs in the house like carpet. Curious to see where Metal Gear Acid gets placed. Yeah, I'm actually excited to get to that stuff. Dr. Clark, that's exactly right. Brian, you know what I'm talking about. Paramedic became Dr. Clark. Invisible wasn't even in TPP. TPP. Paramedic is Dr. Clark. Only 4 people were alive to know who she was. That makes more sense when you explain it like that. But yeah, I didn't appreciate the retcons in MGS3. the story was otherwise fucking awesome, but you know what I'm saying. All right, here we are, boys and possible ladies. I don't know if there are any ladies here, but if you're here, we're doing Metal Gear Solid Survive now. I think it's actually called Metal Gear Survive. It's not even Solid. Here, let's zoom in. Let's verify the facts. It's not even called Solid. It's called Metal Gear Survive. Okay, so I understand the story or the setup, because you really can't say Metal Gear Solid. Sorry, you can't say Metal Gear Survive has a story, but you can say it has a setup. And the premise of, like, portals opening and all of that, while it's weird for Metal Gear, you know, it's like, I don't know, weird things happen in Metal Gear all the time, so, like, I don't really hate it. Utilizing, y'all are gonna get weirded out by how I'm gonna describe this, but utilizing, like, the engine from the Phantom Pain, the Fox engine, and repurposing it, I think that was a good idea. Like, when something as awesome as the Fox engine exists, do you just put it in a drawer, or do you do things with it? And I think you should do things with it. But this isn't what I wanted them to do. Look, I'll be honest with you. I haven't played this game, and I've watched people play this game, but I don't think the story there's nothing there story-wise. This game isn't interesting story-wise. This game isn't interesting gameplay-wise. Fuck it. This might be the only one that lands here in the tier, in the tier list. But I don't have a single shred of pity or a single shred of interest in Metal Gear Survive. I don't think it's part of canon. And I don't know, if anyone ever enjoys it or whatever, I'm not going to tell you, like, you know, what you enjoy is wrong, but it's not a Metal Gear game. It's not I will tell you you're wrong if you call it Metal Gear. You can call it Survive, but this is not Metal Gear. This is a survival game with the Fox engine that uses Metal Gear's assets. It's a bastardization that never should have came out. That's my hot take. Where are we here? Is this Delta? Alright, so Delta isn't even out yet, but I'll be honest with you. It looks pretty cool. It looks like the gameplay is going to be, like, pretty awesome. So I'll go ahead and just, like, slam it up here, like, right above the 3DS. Yeah, right there. I'll slam it up here right above the 3DS port, because, like, if it gives you crouch walking and all the stuff that you can do in the 3DS port, but even more with modern controls, then it might be a better game. I already know that I like the story of MGS3, I was just saying that. So, but, you know, like, I can't physically play the game right now, so, like, what are we gonna do? Alright, boys, we're here. We're down to acid. We're down to acid, boys. Let's take some acid. Let's drop it. Now, oh, I'll be honest. Oh, okay. Well, back it up. There's a couple more things I just haven't played, but we'll get there when we get there. Y'all having fun, though? This is cool. I haven't done a tier list like this before. This is cool. So Metal Gear Acid and Metal Gear Acid 2, I'm going to say, I'll be honest with you, I haven't played them. I've seen a lot of gameplay from them, and the gameplay looks cool. I like deck building games. Whenever I play, like, in real life, we have game night every Tuesday, and, like, you know, like, a lot of the games we play often have dice and cards as part of, like, resolution mechanics. And I like shit like that. And to basically, you know, turn Metal Gear Solid, the whole framework and concept, turn that into, like, a turn-based strategy game with deck-building aspects, I thought that was amazing. I just never got a chance to personally play it. From what I've experienced of the story by watching stuff online, I thought the canonicity was really dubious, but then it like occurred to me that it can happen in the future after, like, the events of Metal Gear Solid 4. So now the canonicity in the story to me is less dubious. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little more interested in playing this than I am Delta. Like, just slightly. I'm slightly more interested in playing that than Delta. And yeah, I do a little flip-flop. Just, like, alternate them. We got Acid, Delta, Acid, 3DS. So lots of Acid here. I wish I got a chance to play them. I just don't physically own a copy, so it's one of those things. Another one that I didn't get to play is Metal Gear Acid Mobile. Actually, I wasn't even aware that Acid Mobile was a thing, so I'm kind of curious about that. Apparently, there's another one. I didn't get to play that. Now, what's this? Metal Gear Solid. What's this with the green on button? Touch. I never played Touch. I played some Touch football back in high school, but, you know, that's just with neighborhood kid. I don't know what Metal Gear Touch is. I don't know what Metal Gear Touch is. So I'm going to put it down here in the... I don't even know what it is. I'm not interested. Metal Gear Solid Mobile. I've actually heard of this. I've seen the gameplay. And while the story looks kind of cool, I don't really think I want to play it. It's actually kind of weird that Ghost Babel is all the way at the bottom of the list. Because, like, canonicity, as far as that's concerned, I think Ghost Babel is, like, around the same time as Metal Gear Solid. Another thing that you can find interesting about Ghost Babel is that it could also be somebody's VR. And the fact that it's, like, canonically referenced in Metal Gear Solid 2 makes me think it is somebody's VR. The Fortress Galioade is where we go in this game. Now, I have not beaten this game. I've only played it for maybe like 5 minutes. I would like to play it longer. I would like to play it longer. So let's just say it's about here with me. Like it's sharing. I actually haven't played it spot with Rising. They're like the same. They're at the same spot to me. But yeah, boys, that seems to be the tier list. Let me go ahead and go through everything real quick while I'm catching up on the chat, and then we'll send this video off for the VOD watchers. The best part about Delta is you already know the story. Oh yeah, we read that. Curious to see where Metal Gear Acid gets placed. We just did it. Chat, slow down a little bit. Didn't mean to do that. Oh. Some days just can't get rid of a bomb. What the shit balls? I'm trying to look at my chat. Trying to look at my chat. Why are you being a pain? Of the Phantom variety. I love the soundtrack to Metal Gear 2, dude. This is such a good fucking soundtrack. Alright, cool, we're here. Did we all forget Gray Fox? Dude, we didn't even mention Gray Fox once. But he was in Portable Ops as Null. That's pretty cool shit. That's Yoruichi. Her ass in black yoga pants. If Survive isn't quiet tier, I'm rioting. I'm sorry. Babel is super underrated. Babel looks super underrated. Gray Fox isn't real. Steel, you're wild, dude. I think I'm going to bounce after this next chat checkup. I don't want to get spoiled for Babel. Oh, sorry, man. Metal Gear Solid Bad Touch. You're not missing out on much with MGS Touch. Just a shitty mobile game. Alright, fair. If you scroll down, you'll see Yoruichi. Dope. I like Yoruichi. Alright, so let's cap this off and talk about what we did. So, in the tier that I haven't played it, but it doesn't look interesting, we got Metal Gear Survive. Honestly, I'm going to put that out at the very fucking bottom. Fuck that. Metal Gear Touch and Metal Gear Mobile, I either don't know what they look like or have seen them in passing, and I'm just like, that doesn't look cool. I actually haven't played it, but I like the story. I would like to play it. I would definitely like to play Rising, Revengeance. I'd like to play Ghost Babel. I'd like to play Portable Ops Plus. I have Peace Walker as well. I just haven't cracked it open yet. I'm actually pretty interested in Acid. I would like to fuck with Acid. When Delta comes out, if I get a chance, that'd be cool. Acid 2, that looks cool. If I ever get a chance to play the 3DS version, I'll play that. As far as Peace Walker goes, I'm going to crack it open one of these days. But I got the HD version, so I probably don't need to worry about any of these. Acid Mobile and Acid Mobile 2, I'm not sure if it is cool or not. If it is cool, then like maybe I fuck with it, but if not, I don't know. Honestly, I thought I was going to put Survive and Oh Hell, what the hell did they do? I thought I made this tier just for them. But it turns out I never played Survive. I just watched people play it, and I'm like, I hate this. Fortunately, there's not a Metal Gear game that I thought was so bad it didn't move the needle for me. So let's go ahead and just like delete these. The only game I think could be better is the NES game. I didn't get to fuck with it all that much, but I fucked with it enough to know that it was a little rough. But I don't think it's a bad game. It could just be a little bit better. If you want like the real experience, I think you should play that game on the MSX. It's a fucking banger. Snake's Revenge is obviously better than you remember. That game is it's hard, but it's a fucking banger. Metal Gear Solid V, Phantom Pain. I don't think it's the worst in the series. But it definitely dropped the ball as far as narrative is concerned. I think it's great gameplay. Similar story with Twin Snakes. I think the gameplay is it's fun, but also the engine breaks the design of Metal Gear Solid 1 in a way that's just you can't ignore it. Ground Zeroes, I feel basically the same about it as I do about the Phantom Pain, but being like a 30-minute game that you paid full price for, having a dark story that was the darkest tonality the game series has ever been in, it's a hard sell for me. So like, I don't think it's bad. Like, I'm not gonna say it could be better. Actually, no, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say Ground Zeroes could be better. There could have been more game. And you know what? The same thing for Phantom Pain. You know what? I'm going to leave Phantom Pain. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it. But Ground Zeroes could have been better. Ground Zeroes should have honestly been packaged with the Phantom Pain as a prequel chapter, the way the Tanker chapter was in MGS2. Actually great. The only game I have in this tier is Metal Gear Solid 4. It did just too much with the story. It muddied things, too many retcons. And it was just too long-winded. Too many fucking cutscenes. I didn't need, like, what was it, 10 hours of cutscenes? I didn't need that. A movie's only like 3. If a movie goes over 4 hours, like, I'm turning this shit off. Like, this is Metal Gear Solid 4 is the kind of game that you want to play like one chapter a day, watch a cutscene, and then turn it off and then go do something else. It's not a game that you, like, want to grind to get better and better, which I think actually hurts it in the long run. So I can't place it higher. Is the game actually great? It fucking bangs. Now for the solid tier, these are games I would definitely fuck with all day. Metal Gear Solid 3, the HD port, I fuck with that. Snake Eater vanilla port, I fuck with that. I mean, I would rather have the updated camera, but I fuck with that. In fact, I'm going to put Integral right above Metal Gear Solid 3 vanilla, because I think Integral is just a better package overall. So Integral, I mean, you get European Extreme, you get more VR missions. Integral was dope. Of course, the original vanilla PlayStation release of Metal Gear Solid is going to be up here on solid. It's definitely solid tier. Who can argue that? There's no lying, no complaining, no whining. Metal Gear Solid VR missions? This is better than people give it credit for. This is way better than people give it credit for. I am tempted to move it all the way up here because I just love the fuck out of it. I personally like it more than Metal Gear Solid 3. But I'm just going to leave it here on the tier list, make it nice and reasonable for everybody. Now, when Quiet's bending over in front of me, this is how these are the games that I'm playing that makes me feel like this. Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, that's Quiet bending over in front of me. I got Snake vs. Monkey, I got the updated camera controls, I got everything I can want, more camo. I'm solid as fuck, baby. Alright, when she's bending over me again, I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 2, the HD port. That's a pretty fucking good port. And even the Subsistence port was pretty fucking good. And if you give me vanilla, I'd be happy. But for my money, if the only Metal Gear game that ever got made, for whatever reason, was Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, I would say it's an unsung classic that more people need to experience to get them into the whole world of Metal Gear. And honestly, that opinion sticks, knowing that there's like fucking 15 other games sitting around it. This game is, it might be the GOAT, dude. It might be the GOAT. This game is fucking great. But my personal favorite is 2. But I recognize where quality is, and Metal Gear Solid 3, it added to the whole Metal Gear experience in ways that it's almost unquantifiable. You can't really quantify like all the steps that they made, but they built on the ideas of these games, and that was fucking amazing. So y'all, I appreciate everybody coming to my thing. I'm sorry this was like, I started this at 4 o'clock or 4:20, so this is almost like an hour and a half long, 2 hours. Sorry it went on so long. I didn't really expect to take so long doing a tier list, but I guess that's how it goes. If you enjoyed it, that's awesome. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell your friends about me. I mean, there are people out there making up rumors about me, so tell them something true. Tell them you had a good time on my live stream, and I really appreciate all of you. MGS3 does feel like a spy movie, Jesus. Shit is just so cool. Peace out. Great stream, man. Well, thanks for being here, dude. Like, I really appreciate it. Yeezus, Spectral, Steel Kratos. My name is Brian. Wyatt. Metal Gear Snake. My Wyatt boy. Who else was here today? Man, I had a lot of people here today. 10 watching now. That's amazing. I really appreciate all of you. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for taking your time with me. Thanks for listening to all this. And I don't know, if you want to make your own tier list and send me a link or whatever, I'll check out your tier list. And also check out my boy Spec. He's been making tier lists. Like I said earlier, he's the one who inspired me to do this. Check out Steel Kratos. His fan theories are amazing. He and I are working on a podcast together. We got a second channel called Retro Runner. So yeah, check out my partners. Check each other out. Be cool. Be safe. Peace, love, chicken grease. Love your faces. Even if I don't know what your face looks like, I'm sure you're a wonderful individual because you have been wonderful to me. You all be cool. I'll see you next time. One more scan down this list. I'll let y'all just sit with this while the music plays out, and then I'll end it. That's the end of that soundtrack. I'll see y'all later.